Yo, what is up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Style by Los. If you guys haven't subscribed, please do that and give a thumbs up on this if you guys enjoy this video or the topic that we're discussing. Today, we're going to be talking about the power of isolation and is isolation needed to be successful? And I just want to give you some of my personal experiences because I always like to make everything that I'm speaking about relatable and showing you the pros and cons of what we're talking about. So when I'm referring to isolation, I want people to know that I'm referring to a period of your life where you're solely focused on your goals and going to achieve that. We're not talking about going in to live in the middle of nowhere and just completely saying fuck humanity and not talking to anyone. So I just want to be very clear on that. And I just want to start off by talking about what it's like to be in your early 20s and just all the outside distractions that completely throw you off, because the example that I want to use is my early 20s. I'm 28 now, but I did go through a period of my life where I just found myself so lost and did not know what to do. Throughout college, I played football, I drank a lot, I ended up having to sleep on my sister's couch, and then moved in with a roommate, and I was just all over the place. I was working a job at Zena. It's this restaurant that's completely just trash. And then I ended up going to be a valet for another 6 months, and I really just wasn't happy with what I was doing, and I wanted more for myself, but I knew I had to change my ways. And changing my ways consisted of isolating myself. I isolated myself because I wanted more for myself, and to get there, I knew I had to block out all the distractions. So to reach a level of success, you have to block out the distractions. You got to block out the outside noise. All the bullshit that your friends have going on, you got to let that shit go and just know that the instant gratifications of life are always going to be there. The short window of time where we have to be successful is very slim. It's easier to make these decisions and take these risks in your early 20s versus like your 40s and 50s. That's not to say that you can't take time in your 40s and 50s, 60s even, to isolate yourself and get yourself back on track. I just know in my 20s, I'm going to have the energy. I don't have any kids. I don't have too much responsibility. So I'm able to actually take those risks. So in this time, I want to talk about the benefits of isolation and how it can actually take you to a better place. And I talk about being the loser for the while. Being the loser for the while is while your friends go out and party, you stay in and focus on the things that you want to achieve later in life. Because while they're out partying and basically wasting time every single weekend, because we know going out and drinking really doesn't benefit anyone unless you're a club owner, a club promoter, or whatever it is. While they do that, you focus on what you need to focus on, because in 5 years, you'll be light years ahead of them. I preached that so much as I was developing my sense of isolation and blocking out all distractions. I was just like, yo, if I keep doing this and I stay focused on what I'm going to do, in 5 years, I'm literally going to be like light years ahead of my peers. And I'm on fucking damn near 5.5, 6 years. And I can say that shit wholeheartedly worked. So that's why I like to speak about it, and I'm passionate about it, because there's benefits to isolating yourself and there's also cons. The benefits of it is your concentration levels go up. You don't have to worry about what, John and Sally and all the rest of these people got going on, because you're solely focused on you. Your interests are your priorities because you've got everything in front of you. You've organized a schedule for yourself. You've created a routine. And let's go backwards. Creating a routine is key to blocking out the distractions and isolating yourself, because once you have a routine and you stick with that, no one can come in and deter you from what you actually want to do. Now, most people just have a regular routine. They wake up, they go to work, they come home, watch TV, cook dinner, be on their phones, and repeat the cycle. Now, when you're wanting to isolate yourself, in my case, because I was trying to be an entrepreneur, I had to set my own schedule, and it's a lot harder to stay on that schedule because you have flexibility and you got more time to kind of just be like, you know what, I'll do it tomorrow. No, I'm actually do it today. So I created a routine for myself. Woke up at 5:30 every single day. Ran 3 miles. My roommate was really into fitness, so he got me into running. I really, really appreciate that. I came home, and then I got dressed to go shoot my outfits, because at the time I was just really solely focused on growing my brand in the fashion industry. So I was shooting 3 outfits, so I had stuff to post during the week, and then I had video concepts that I was working on, and then I would come back home and email 60 companies a day. And I'm not fucking lying. The goal was 60 companies a day. And all I wanted to do was get enough money to pay my rent. I just didn't want to go back to a job so bad that this period of isolation was going to keep me from going back to something that I really just did not enjoy. So I came home, I found those 60 brands, and I did my research. And at the time, Instagram wasn't what it is now, where you can just find people's emails in their bio and stuff like that. You had to really dig. You had to DM. You had to get on LinkedIn to find people. It was really a hustle. So I really, really wanted that. And then after that, I would edit my photos, edit my videos, whatever it was, and then just get refocused for the next day, whether it was studying what I could do as far as content to become better, studying other people that were successful at what I was currently doing, but they were a little bit older. I didn't have any mentor growing up doing this. I really, really wanted to focus on that, and that isolation allowed me to do that. And it also boosted my creativity, because we're going to keep taking it back. You're not having to deal with all the excess bullshit that you normally have to deal with when you're immersing yourself within, going to parties or going out or all these other things. Your creativity is able to flow. And I'm just speaking from personal experience. My ideas really come to life when I'm sitting by myself and I'm able to think straight, and I don't have all this stuff just popping up. It's just like your phone. It allows us to have different modes on it. Eliminating all the notifications and stuff that are coming through allows you to focus on what you're actually trying to do. It's just like a to-do list, making your priorities first thing that you're doing. The isolation allows you to do that. So to me, it's a very key thing that helped me get to where I wanted to get. It boosted my productivity, but there's also cons that comes with isolation. And I want to talk about it, because being alone is a tough thing when, one, you're really bottling up the way that you feel because you're kind of so far distant from your friends at this point, and sometimes your family, depending on your relationship with them, that you're really just having these conversations with yourself whenever you're down or things aren't going your way. So it really takes a toll on your mental health during this isolation period. And it's one thing that I really wish that I would have done a little bit differently had I known at the time. But life's all about living and learning. At the time, I kind of bottled up everything that I had going on. I really wasn't talking to anyone, and I wish I would have expressed myself a little bit more to focus on my mental health. So if you have anything going on in your life to where you need to take a mental break, by all means do so. Do not force yourself into a creative burnout or just a burnout in life, period. Focus on your mental health, because a period of isolation can come with its benefits, and it can come with the detrimental things that can be bad for you in the long run. Because the thing you don't want to do is isolate yourself and get to a level of success per se, but yet you're having to rebuild yourself again come the end of the entire thing because you didn't focus on what you actually needed to focus on. And it also can cause depression. We know all these things can lead up to depression and create this heavy weight on you that you don't necessarily know how to deal with because you're so far distant from everyone else because you focus solely on what you were trying to achieve. So finding that balance is one thing that I really want to tell you guys about the period of isolation. I do think that it's a very key thing that helped me be successful, but I also would have done it a little bit differently. So if you take anything from this, just remember that you can isolate yourself to get to where you want to get in life, but also take care of yourself at the same time. And one thing I want you guys to do is write down the things that currently distract you. Write those things down, whether it's 1 to 5 things, 10 to 20 things. Write those things down and then mark them off one by one of how you're going to eliminate those distractions and continuously grow yourself to the success that you want. So just in closing, I do think that isolation is needed for success, but that's not to say that someone didn't go out and party it the fuck up and still was successful. So there's no right or wrong way to get to isolation, but there is power in isolation because no one can ever. I just think when you isolate yourself, you figure out who the fuck you are. Your back's against the wall. It's just you. You're having conversations with yourself because we're able to do that as humans, which is crazy to me. But you're able to speak with yourself. You're able to learn like, yo, like I'm really like that or I'm really not like that. So you really get to figure out who you are in that period of isolation, and you can see growth come from it. I've seen tremendous growth in myself when I've isolated myself. And I've done it multiple times throughout my life. I still do it in my later 20s now. I'm kind of in that period, but I found that balance that I was talking about earlier. I just think it's really, really important to take that time for yourself to write down all the distractions that you currently have and how you can isolate yourself within a good balance to make yourself successful. So I would love to hear in the comments what you guys think about this conversation, how you feel about the power of isolation. Do you think it's needed to be successful or do you not? There's no right or wrong answer. Really, really appreciate you guys. And I want to have more conversations like this. I like to keep them short and sweet, not too long. But yeah, I hope this, gave you some insight on how I feel about it. And hopefully I'll hear from you guys in the comments. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend if you want to. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.